This is some photos and videos that I have from a trip I took with these guys on a fishing trip to the Florida Keys. The relevant people here, the guy in the beard organized the trip. He's Tim. He's married to Linnea, who's Laura's current partner in fertility. Dan is standing next to me wearing the blue. He is married to a woman who was previously Linnea's partner at UNC. Tim is a retired Navy pilot, P-3 anti-submarine, and Al, who is 2 over from me, was the TACO, or tactical coordinator, who ran operations in the plane along with Tim. And then the other 2 guys, JD and Dustin. JD is an Army guy. He works with Al now at Special Ops Command Center, and Dustin lives down the street from Al. Anyway, Tim organized this trip, got us all together, and we headed on down to the Florida Keys. We went to Marathon specifically, which is on, I believe, Boot Key, and we stayed in this place, which is basically an RV park and motel. I ended up staying in an RV. This is the interior of it. Perfectly nice place. That's where I slept. Never really spent any time in an RV before. Nice place to stay. Beautiful area. Had a dock to sit on, throw a little bit of fishing lines into the water. A manatee came up to meet us, which was really pretty cool. And swam on away nice and slowly, as they tend to do. This one fortunately seemed uninjured in any way. Went out on the boat. This is us heading out of the marina. And here we are on the boat there. Not a giant boat, but big enough for all of us. And this is the first keeper fish anyone caught. And you can see here the story of, this is this fish was sucked onto his arm there and then let go. We are here fishing for mahi. They feed on flying fish. This is a mahi coming in. They feed on the flying fish that live under those weeds that you may have seen off to the side, the sargassum weeds. And there's a mahi coming in there. They're actually blue when they're just swimming around the water, but they change color, and when they're threatened, such as being caught, they turn green. This is Tim pulling up the fish that he's holding there in the photo. This is an amberjack. He pulled this thing up from 200 feet down over a wreck. It took a long time and a lot of work to pull this thing up out of there. It was actually a fair bit of physical exertion. So overall, about 10 minutes of him working on this thing to pull it up out of the bottom of the ocean.
Nice job. There you go. Put the work on him. Nice slow lift up. There you go.
What's our guess on what it is?
I don't know. I think it might be an AJ. Yeah, this is an AJ. We're probably going to harvest it. You guys want some meat?
Take that back to smoking, okay?
Ended up being, I think, a 45-pound fish or something. Tim's a big, strong dude, and he was working hard to get this done. Cut to when it's about to come out of the water and see what this thing actually looks like. He's gaffing the fish here to bring it in. There's Tim holding that big old fish up. This is how you go about catching mackerel, which are a lot of fun. They feed on these smaller fish, ballyhoo, and this is our boat captain throwing the net out to net cast some ballyhoo. They're just hanging out in the chum stream behind the boat. You put those things on a hook and cast them out there, and the mackerel attack when they bite. They broke a whole lot of the rigs we had out to catch them. They just bite right through them, including metal leaders. They move fast. We got to see a couple of them jumping and flying through the air as well.
What's on there?
Pretty cool fish.
Reel down.
Oh man, once they get their tail pointed, they try to swim.
That's Dan pulling a pretty sizable one of this type of mackerel out of the water. I'm forgetting what specific type of mackerel this is there.
Hell yeah, dude, that's a monster. Wow. Stay back there. Where are you? Still
This
tight,
is
still
me
bending
pulling
the
up
rod, but you're
a
still
king
able to-
mackerel. So this is back over that wreck, same place Tim caught that amberjack. Different part of it though. This was only like 120 odd feet down. You see, I'm working pretty hard to get this thing pulled up out of here. And it would take a good run sometimes and just pull the line out and try to keep its head pointed up and prevent it from running and being able to try to dive back deep. A lot of work getting this thing to come on up out of there. Had a pretty sore spot on my hip from this. And this is called a king mackerel. They're not quite as tasty as the other mackerel. This one was taken home by Al, who smoked it and turned it into smoked fish dip. These are some of the trips on the ride, pictures on the ride back in, just looking at the Florida Keys. When we get back to the dock, the boat captain preps the fish, which is nice. We don't have to do that, and feeds the what's left over to those. That's me and my king mackerel and the other fish we caught that same day. And we went to a restaurant afterwards where they'll prepare the fish for you. Tim's saluting the camera for some reason. They prepared the fish for us, had an excellent meal. We also had a fish fry ourselves right outside one of the RVs. The folks who came from Tampa brought equipment to cook and everything. This is one of the other places that we ate as well. Played a little bit of beer pong and things like that. Had a good jolly time. Time well spent. Not something I'm going to do over and over and over again, but had fun, and it was pretty cool.